sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's real easy. Well, you can go to 2 places. You can go to shrmedia.com. Well, 3 places. YouTube. Search for SHR Media. Or you can go to Reaver.1 and click on the SHR TV button. How is everybody doing today? Oh, so many screens. So little time. Oh, my day's doing good so far. Looked at the calendar, realized Thursday. A week from Thursday, my daughter will go back to school. Dang, I'm going to be spoiled because I got used to my daughter being here. I got used to it. So. Other than that, everything's going pretty good in my life. I see all the shit that's going on, and it just... All right, yesterday, we had a tropical storm go through, which, okay. Some areas got hit pretty good. Some areas just got some rain, and that was it. The governor declared state of emergency. And people are bitching about it. Oh my God, why are you doing that? There's some areas that got hit pretty good. That got damage. So, they declared a state of emergency. We had a tropical storm go straight from Tampa across the state. Simple. We've had where just major storms have come in. Not even tropical storms, just storms. And we've got declared emergencies in those areas. Now we had a tropical storm go across the state, and he declared what that also does is just gets certain emergency services up and running, anticipating something happening. So if those services are needed, they'll be right there within minutes. You don't have to wait longer. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you want a declared state of emergency and something majorly happened, well, why didn't you declare it? I saw it in New Jersey a while ago. They declared a state of emergency. There was something coming. I think they were declaring said a blizzard was going to hit. And they got like a little dusting. And everybody was pissed. But I've been in that state when they didn't declare shit because we weren't getting hit with storms, and then all of a sudden we got hit with a blizzard one time. And everybody's like, why didn't they declare a state of emergency? Why didn't they cancel school earlier? They knew this storm was coming. But when they do it, it's a waste of time. You can't win. You can't win. Just like Booker setting up for a presidential run. As Tuesday in a Facebook video, Senator Cory Booker introduced the Marijuana Justice Act that would remove marijuana from a Controlled Substance Act, which would make it legal at the federal level. The bill also retroactively expunges the criminal records of people convicted federally of marijuana use and possession. Booker said, when you see these marijuana arrests happening so much in our country, targeting certain communities, poor communities, minority communities, targeting people with illness, targeting dispositionally our veterans, you see the injustice of it all. This is a debate that I'm going to sidestep. But I am going to say the only reason why he's putting it out there, it's the only reason why he's doing it, he's trying to buy votes. That's all. He's trying to buy votes by saying, I'm going to make pot legal for you to go use recreationally. And it's not even the argument, let's make it legal for medical. He's saying, let's make it legal for everyone to smoke it. I don't know. Sometimes I hate having the news on in the background, because right now it's Juan Williams running his mouth about Trump, how bad Trump is, how the end of the world is coming. The end of the world's not coming, people. No, it's not. Our economy's doing better. Jobs. Record amount of people back to work. GDP's up. What can you say? But, of course, the Democrats have to bring in bullshit falsehoods to try to cover all this up. Then they have to try to go and buy votes. I'm going to switch gears up. I'm going to play a clip. And I'm going to let the clip pretty much speak for itself. This is Dinesh D'Souza. Student tells him to prove Democrats are racist now. Well, I don't know Dinesh D'Souza personally, but from what I've seen of his debates, you don't want to throw that challenge down to him. You don't want to do that.
The deeper part of the question is, so prove to me that the Democratic Party is racist now. And as often happens with a tough question, this is kind of when I rise to the occasion. Well, let me just say this. If one goes today to the Democratic-controlled inner city, and we're talking here about some 24 cities entirely dominated by the Democratic Party, there's not a Republican in sight. I argue that we will see in them now all the 5 features of the slave plantation that Kenneth Stamp outlined in his classic work.
Let's see. Let's think if he can do this. I'd bet my bottom dollar that he can do it.
Peculiar institution. In a description of the plantation, Kenneth Stamp identifies 5 things that you would see on a slave plantation. Number 1, broken down, dilapidated, and unsafe housing. Number 2, broken families. You can see this under slavery. There was a confusion of who's the real father, mulattoes running around in the plantation, the family structure in decay. Number 3.
How come I could see like a, I know this is going to be a really tasteful joke, but like a plantation Jerry Springer trailer show. You know, I don't know why, but I can just see that happening.
A high degree of violence required to hold the place together. Police power, whippings, overseers, fences, barbed wire. Number 4, everybody gets a basic provision. If you need food, you have health care, they call the doctor. But nobody gets ahead. There's no opportunity. Nobody really advances. The Southerners and the Democrats used to call slavery a school of civilization. And Stamp goes, that's not a school from which anyone ever seemed to graduate. And finally, nihilism and despair. A feeling that there's no future, that this is an intergenerational, ongoing, lasting way of life. Now, all those 5 features can be traced directly to inner city Oakland, inner city Baltimore, many places, Chicago. And like I say, this has been going on since the 60s. The United States has spent trillions of dollars to fix these places. The Democrats have been in charge of fixing it. And yet, many of these places are no better off than they were in 1967. Think about that. So, at the very least, this reflects a callous and shocking disdain for the welfare of the people who live in those communities. And for me, this is a big opportunity for Trump. If Trump is able to talk straight to people in our inner cities, and I would add in our barrios and on our native reservations, and show them that there's a way to get up and get off the plantation, this would be a mammoth opportunity for the Republican Party.
It would be. And Trump's the person that could go down and talk straight. He is the person that could do it. The Democrats would wholeheartedly throw a hissy fit. I mean, they would freak the fuck out. I mean, we've seen them do it before. Oh my God, look what he said. You know, he hates blacks. He said inner cities are bad living. No shit, Sherlock. Some of these people really make me wonder just exactly where they left their brains. Oh, man. Some of these people just are not that smart. And I'm talking these politicians and mainstream medias when they freak out, when Trump points out that you've been voting Democrat and nothing's gotten better. What do you got to lose? But of course, things will get better. And the Democrats will try to say how that was their ideas. And they're the ones that got that through. I want to remember today, 36 years ago, MTV made its debut. Here, let's give the millennials a little something to listen to.
6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
Ladies and gentlemen, rock and roll.
This is it. Welcome to MTV Music Television, the world's first 24-hour stereo video music channel. Just moments ago, all of the VJs and the crew here at MTV collectively hit our executive producer, Sue Steinberg, over the head with a bottle of champagne, and behold, a new concept is born. The best of TV combined with the best of radio. Now, starting right now, you'll never look at music the same way again. We'll be right back to introduce the other VJs and the other folks who are going to be with us on MTV.
Until they stop playing music
I'm Alan
videos.
Hunter. I will be with you right after Mark. We'll be covering the latest in music news coast to coast here on MTV Music Television.
I'm Martha Quinn. The music will continue non-stop on MTV Music Television, the newest component of your stereo system.
Well, all right, I'm J.J. Jackson, and I'll be sitting in with the latest video music performances the way they were meant to be. That's in stereo on MTV Music Television. You'll never look at music the same way again.
Hi, I'm Nina Blackwood, and I'll be with you after J.J. right here on MTV, the world's first video music channel, all day, all night, in stereo.
Are those guys the best? We all are so excited about this new concept in TV. We'll be doing for TV what FM did for radio. And let's get into it right now at MTV.
36 years ago. God damn, I feel old. I feel so old right now. It's... Come on. Damn. I have another video up. This is a House of Representative calling for investigations into Hillary.
debate, it strikes me that there's a few things that have been left out of this discussion, and I do support the gentleman from Florida's amendment, and I follow the ideology of this in the process. One of the things I would say to that is that as I listened to the gentleman from Tennessee address this subject matter and raise his voice pretty strongly about the allegations of Obama versus Russians versus Putin, I would make a couple of points on this. One is, it's pretty clear that the Obama administration sent their people over to Israel to work against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
I couldn't, just right out, boom.
Openly. Significant dollars invested in that campaign over there. The President of the United States, with at least the moral support of the people that had worked for him in the country of Israel, seeking to shift the results of the election against the seated Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu. Then the gentleman, no, I won't yield.
I love that. They try to get him to stop. No, I won't yield. I won't yield.
The gentleman did object to U.S. tax dollars being used. I just came back not that long ago from the Balkans, where I sat in a place like Macedonia. And there I learned that the United States government, borrowing money from China and Saudi Arabia, had handed over somewhere at least $5 million in contracts transferred through USAID.
$5 million we gave.
George Soros organizations that were used to manipulate elections in the Balkans. And that's just particularly Macedonia, not including the neighboring countries that are there. And some of that money was used to translate Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals into Macedonians to distribute the books, and the rules for radicals and the actions of radicals were manifested within the election efforts in that part of the world. So I would say that the Obama administration is a...
And then we have the left going, what's rules for radical? Never heard of it. Never heard it. Nope, I haven't. You're just trying to start trouble. No, that is what they use. Their actions are based on it, and they're trying to spread that disease to other countries. Now, we've known that they interfered with Israel. We've known that. He bragged about it. He was out forth with it until, this whole Russia shit started. Then it was, what? We didn't do... Oh, no, we would never do that. He bragged about it. And now we're finding out they're trying to... they interfered with Macedonia.
A long ways from clean on this as far as being involved in elections in other countries, not to mention little comments like the British, if you vote Brexit, you're going to have to go to the back of the queue. So that's the taxpayer dollars piece of this. But the long string that we should be looking at with this investigation and special counsel that is our request here, it goes a long ways back. It goes clear back to Huma Abedin, Anthony Weiner, 650,000 emails, which we still have access to. And the question that was answered to us by James Comey, which is there was nothing to see there. We did a fast software search of 650,000 emails, and in the case of Huma Abedin and Anthony Weiner sharing laptop and sharing emails, there was nothing new in 650.
And now it has been released. Hey, Melanie. Now it's been released that at least 7,000 of those emails so far had top secret information on it that were from Hillary and Huma Abedin and was on Anthony Weiner's laptop. So Comey lied there.
1,000 emails, and what we've done in this Congress so far is just taken his word for that. Now, it seemed fairly logical to take his word at the time until you examine the investigation that he conducted of Hillary Clinton. Oh, by the way, it was a matter. The investigation that had Cheryl Mills, her chief of staff, as her chief counsel in the room with Hillary Clinton, and both of them had a plea bargain of some kind. They were exempted from prosecution for some by limited terms, but in any case, when you have this chief of staff who's the subject of investigation too, there as counsel to the person who is the subject of the investigation, and we ask under oath, and I ask these questions of Comey, or about Loretta Lynch and Comey under oath, and that is, where's the copy of the transcript? Where's the audio files? Where's the video files? Who was in the room? We don't have the answers to any of that except no. If there were notes taken, we don't know whose they are or where they are. If there was any transcript of the deposition, then that doesn't exist either. Neither do the tapes of either audio or video. This is what looks like on its face is a sham investigation. Plus, they destroyed a tremendous amount of information, at least 30,000 emails, crushed hard drives, bought bleach bit, hired outside contractors to scrub the emails up.
And think about it, crushed hard drives. And we got an IT for the Democrat Party who has damaged hard drives in a basement. Multiple hard drives that, as it was described in the article, were hit with hammers.
And we're to take James Comey's word for this, that there wasn't enough substance there to bring a prosecution, even though on a year ago, July 5th, James Comey delivered 15 minutes of the summary of a prosecution that was completely convincing to me until he got down to the last couple of sentences of that presentation, which is, well, we can't prove intent. Well, curiously, there's no requirement for intent in the two statutes that appear to have been violated. And furthermore,
said that in the
I look
beginning.
back in the record
Intent
to the previous
is
October
not
and the
part
previous
of it.
April, Barack Obama stated
There's a lot of
into
people that
the-
do not
into
intend to break the law, but they
news
do.
media record, he said Hillary Clinton would never intend to put our national security at risk. Hillary Clinton would never intend to harm America's security. That's October and April, the previous October and April. Well, James Comey latched on to that word intend, and they made up new law and gave Hillary Clinton an exemption for this lack of intent that they said they couldn't prove, which is absolutely proven by the facts that he delivered to us in the summary that day, and that there is evidence for. And I would go on. And not only does this trail lead through Hillary Clinton and James Comey, but the Loretta Lynch component of this as well. When you put this in place and you look at the example of them on the tarmac, it's hard to imagine they sat there for 38 minutes and discussed grandchildren. I think that might even be singular, grandchild at the time. We should check that. But the answers that we got from Loretta Lynch were far less than satisfying. And then that brings me to Alexandra Chalupa, who went off she's a DNC contractor that went off over to Ukraine to try to gather dirt on the Trump people. So bringing this around, Mr. Chairman, I'll conclude it with this, as my time will soon run out, and that is this, that the trail leads, I believe, also to Barack Obama. We need to investigate all of this.
Yep, and that's where we need to lead with all the investigations, and we need to open those investigations. And I understand they may start small, and they may start just with Loretta Lynch and Comey, and then start expanding. That's how it starts, and that's how it's done, and I have no problem with that. I have a little patience. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cat for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. Oh man, the allergies just kicked in. Woo. Oh, let's see where we're at. Oh, I got to play this. I'm coming across some clips tonight, and I know I'm playing a lot of clips more than normal, but these, I love them.
A small number of rich people, the tech people, and you've got a ton of poor people, and the middle class is leaving. Like, that's a recipe for instability. You're aware of that, right?
In regards to middle class leaving, that's actually a good thing.
Let me back it up, because this is Tucker Carlson, and he has some guy that's a pro-Calex, and you just heard him say that the middle class leaving California is a good thing. The middle class leaving is a good thing.
We need these spots open up for the new wave of immigrants to come up. It's what we do. We're exporting our middle class to the United States. You guys should be thanking us for that. Not only that, when our middle class does move out to Texas and to Colorado, they're taking our values out to the United States and to Texas. So if you look at Texas, in fact, all the major cities that Californians are going to, they are turning blue. And soon enough, Texas will be a blue state. And all of the red states soon enough.
I don't know if this is like a... I've never met you. I've never heard of you. I don't know if this is like a parody segment. You're punking me, or you're really high and you're just telling the truth because high people do. But you just said you're happy to be exporting the middle class of your state. Now, I happen to think that your policymakers are happy that they're leaving, but the fact that you're admitting this on live TV, bottom line, are you being serious?
Well, I'm only admitting the truth. There's a middle class of people that are leaving California, and they're going to Oregon and Colorado and Texas. Yes, there is.
And you're happy about that?
I don't know how. Well, I mean, if they want to move, there's nothing for me to stop them. I mean, I'm sure they'll find out how boring it is and they'll come back.
Yeah. Less taxes, less government in your face. Yeah, I can see why they would want to run back to that crappy state. Yeah. Is that guy really high? I mean, I don't know. These people are not the smartest in tool shit, are they? All right. So, grassroots organization, we're going to shake it up a little bit again. Grassroots organization to host American First rallies nationwide in September. Act for America has announced that it will host a nationwide series of American First rallies on Saturday, September 9, 2017. The National Security Grassroots Organizations aims to show support for common sense America First security policies proposed by President Trump, which prioritizes real protection over political correctness and celebrates American exceptionalism. Event organizers say these events will be held in honor of those lost during 9/11, America's worst terrorist attack. Our nation made a vow after 9/11/2001 to never forget. But remembrance, while a necessary debt, is not a sufficient one. We as America must also raise our voice when our nation remains vulnerable to recurring threats. That was Bridget Gabriel, founder of Act for America, in a press release. The policies the rallies will call to support include securing our borders from threats to our safety, defeating ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and affiliates, designating the Muslim Brotherhood as a foreign terrorist organization, ensuring proper and effective vetting of refugees for the protection of all Americans, and respecting law and order, our police, our military, and those who put their lives on the line for us each day. And that's what we need to do. We need to be holding these rallies in support so that it's outweighing the negative that we're hearing from the left. The support is greater on the right now. And we need to show it. We just can't say it. We need to show it. So, I'll keep you updated if I hear anything about these rallies, and I'll pass it on. Don't forget, coming up at 11 o'clock, right after the Reaver of Common Sense, we will have BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. What the heck? Something local to my high school. Oh. So, we've been doing good so far with countering their negativity with some pro support. It actually makes you feel good because we've got to get out there. We got to counter their fake news. And to put it that way, I hate to put it that way, but we got to counter it. We got to show them the truth. And when we go out there, normally we're hitting way larger numbers than they are. because they don't have the support. Especially if we run multiple rallies on the same day, they can't afford to pay enough people to outnumber all the rallies. So they got to spread their force. And it spreads them thin. So we have climate alarmists now. They are now blaming global warming for creating ghost forests. In the latest chapter in an ongoing crusade against man-made global warming, alarmists have blamed climate change for the creation of ghost forests along the U.S. Atlantic seacoast. Now, if you're like me, you're wondering, what the fudgy whale is ghost forest? Let me pull it up again so I can explain it without putting it wrong. Come on. Come on. There we go. When your tablet's running too slow. God. Basically, it's where you... All right. Oh, what the heck just happened? Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Come on, my mic just went totally out on me. There we go. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? I have no idea why it did that, but the mic just totally crapped out on me. Sitting there talking 1 minute, gone the next. And it's the board, not the mic. It's that damn gain switch again. Oh, I hate that gain switch. Ghost forests are, there's basically stumps left in like a swamp-like setting. Here it is. And damn microphone. You know, I had it for a second. I'm still trying exactly. It's something that happens actually in nature. But, of course, they say, no, it's global warming. In the latest chapter in an ongoing crusade against man-made global warming, the alarmists have blamed climate change for the creation of ghost forests along the U.S. Atlantic seaboard. And it then goes on, I think ghost forests are the most obvious indicator of climate change anywhere on the east coast of the U.S. This is Matthew Kerwan, a professor at Virginia Institute of Marine Science, who studies ghost forests. It was dry, usable land 50 years ago. Now it's marsh with dead stumps and dead trees. Although the process has occurred naturally for thousands of years, some say it has accelerated in recent decades due to polar ice melts and rising sea levels, which would push salt water further inland, killing trees in the process. Well, except for one thing. NASA has already shown there is no rise in sea level. We also have what's called, well, I don't know what it's called, but our land masses are constantly changing elevations. tectonic plates are moving, which causes the land to change. But, that's something that the left can't understand, and it's something scientifical, and they skip over that. In the past month, global warming has been blamed for everything from the death of migratory songbirds to the decimation of herds of reindeer to a slump in South American coffee production to a drop in population of Hawaiian monk seals and even remarkably to colder weather. Yet, as the World Meteorological Organization has noted, many of the recent climatologic events and trends can be explained by natural variations of the climate system, without excluding an indeterminate influence from atmospheric concentration of greenhouse gas. In the same report, the WMO said, at this time, researchers have not yet been able to ascertain the respected roles being played by climate variability and human-induced climate change. Many climate scientists have acknowledged the practicality and possibility of correlating a specific meteorological or environmental phenomenon to global warming. Many climate scientists have acknowledged the practicality and possibility of correlating a specific meteorological or environmental phenomenon to global warming. Would you like me to put that plainly? They say it's pretty much impossible to connect certain weather patterns or environmental issues to global warming. That they're just blowing smoke out of their ass at this point. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe. If this microphone doesn't stop pissing me off, though. Oh, man. It's going to drive me to drink tonight. So we basically know, as always, everything is linked to global warming. Everything is global warming's fault. Always blame global warming. The cow just farted, global warming. You got in a car accident, global warming. You did your taxes wrong, global warming. You robbed the bank, global warming. You forgot to leave a tip, global warming. And it's that friggin' ridiculous anymore. It really is. And I'm kind of getting tired of every time you turn around, it's global warming, global warming, global warming, global warming. You know, what's even worse is they're getting caught lying about it. They're getting caught lying about the data. They got caught again. Oh, looking for something. And I forget what I'm looking for, but when I see it, I'll know that I was looking for it. I think I wanted a sound clip for an article. I guess I didn't set the article up. Oh, damn. Yawning again tonight. I don't know what it is. I'm not tired. I'm not boring myself. I entertain myself. I'm not boring myself. Ooh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Let's see. But as I was saying, everything is global warming's fault, but then they get caught changing the data. And Australia's Bureau of Meteorology got caught erasing record low temperatures. Australia's BOM has been caught red-handed erasing record-breaking cold temperatures from its data record. The BOM has now been shamed by media investigations into ordering a review of its procedures, but is yet to provide an explanation as to why it made these adjustments in the first place. I wonder why. Maybe it was so that their data fit their answer, their conclusion. And I've said it many a times, when it comes to global warming, they have their conclusion. Now they have to make their data fit their conclusion. And it's sick. It's sad. And it's disgusting. For some strange reason that the BOM has been unable to explain, these adjustments seem to only go one way. The BOM is perfectly happy to record and announce it whenever Australia's temperature hit record-breaking high, but when the temperatures reach new low, it's a different matter altogether. And when the temperature goes below a certain point, it either deletes them as if they had never been, or it enters them into its records at higher temps than the one actually recorded by its thermostat. The dodgy adjustments were spotted by investigator journalist Jennifer. Earlier this month, she was contacted by bush meteorologist Lance Pigeon, who noticed that Goulburn, a town southwest of Sydney, had smashed its temperature record with a low of minus 10 degrees Celsius. Except the Bureau has since erased this measurement, and according to the Bureau's own record, the coldest temperature record during a 24-hour period is 9 a.m. Period to a 9 a.m. is recorded at the minimum for that day. So for Sunday, the 2nd of July, the carryover minimum should be 10.4 minus 10.4 degrees Celsius. But instead, the summary document shows minus 10. There is no public record of a minus 10.4 degrees Celsius. This is not the first time the BOM has been accused of behaving more like a political activist organization than a scientific one. On every occasion, instead of fessing up to its dodgy antics, it has hidden behind a wall of bluster and pretend scientific authority. Oh, man. Hang on, I gotta adjust this. This isn't... God dang right. Now it's sounding better. There we go. Wait a minute. Come on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now it sounds better in my ears. For example, against the principle of robust science, it refuses to allow its data to be audited independently or discuss why or how it makes its temperature adjustments. Because they're cheating at it. I mean, anybody with half a brain can look at it and go, oh, they're fudging the data. So they don't want an independent to take a look at it. And they don't want to be audited. So they just deny anybody being able to touch them or look at them. That's all. As the Australians notes in a paper-walled editorial, these unexplained adjustments are no way to inspire confidence among a taxpayer public which has to fund the BOM to the tune of an annual $365.3 million. That adjustment process, known as homogenization, has got the Bureau in trouble in the past. Again, the issue has been one of transparency. The Bureau has made a series of changes to historical records across the country. It says it does so to adjust for the movement of a weather station site, changes to surrounding vegetation, or results that look wrong when compared with nearby sites. Such homogenization is not unique to Australia, but the Bureau sometimes fails to convince when asked to explain the specific local adjustments it has made, especially if these blusters a warming trend. The same goes for any practice that discounts cold temperature. The official record must be accurate and trusted. Otherwise, claims of historic extremes, the hottest winter day, only mislead and public policy gets corrupted. Even if the Bureau does have all the answers, it needs to do a better job of taking the public, skeptics included, into its confidence. The same is true, of course, in the United States, where organizations like NASA and NOAA have been caught red-handed making adjustments to their own temperature data set. None of these convincingly explain. But this scandal is not as widely known as it should be, largely because it goes virtually unreported in liberal-dominated mainstream media. This partly explains the huge discrepancy between the way liberals think about climate change and the way conservatives do. According to this survey, liberals in both the U.S. and the U.K. are dramatically more worried about climate change than conservatives. Perhaps this is because conservatives are simply better informed. I don't take mainstream media face value. I go and I look and I pay attention, and I have certain subjects that I am passionate about. One of them being climate change and guns, the Second Amendment. So whenever I get a chance or I see those articles, I definitely report on those issues during my show. I have reported multiple times of agencies getting caught red-handed lying about data, adjusting. Not even adjusting, they're outright falsifying scientific data. Now that's where it makes me skeptic of everything that's going on. When you have these extravagant accusations made, New York will be underwater by July 2015. Right then I hear that, I go, something's not right there, you know? I have been for my whole life listening how we're going to die from weather, how we're going to go from ice age in the 70s to aerosol cans are killing us in the 80s and early 90s, and then into global warming, then into climate change, you know, all the different iterations, and how we're all going to die any day now unless we send money to Al Gore or whichever it calls. And it's funny because I always see all this waste still going on by the same people that preach about global warming. That makes me go, something seems fishy. Then I start reading, and I see NASA, NOAA admitting they had lied about a data. They adjusted the data, and they were wrong to do so. They're wrong about it. The person's been handled, but I keep seeing it pop up and pop up and pop up. I see the head of, IPOCC, or whatever it is, the main organization for the world for climate change. He goes and steps down. Why did he step down? Because he said that it had become too politicized. Too many politicians, too many world governments put their hands into it and took control of it and started making policies that were government policies, but not what was best for the environment. They started making these extravagant accusations and just totally destroying any credibility. So he stepped away. So, of course, they had to destroy the guy's reputation over that. But he's not the only one. I've seen it time and time again. When you have Al Gore out there pounding the pavement. Al Gore, Mr. I invented the internet, Al Gore, screaming he knows so much about climate change, makes me go, something's not right here. When you have Bill Nye, the science guy, Mr. Degree in Engineering. Oh, we just got to wait till this older generation dies off. No, it's always these. And it's rules for radicals. They make these extravagant claims to scare you. But they never can back it up. And what do? Now they're making these extravagant claims, but they're putting them 100 years in advance, so we'll never be able to go, see, they were a bunch of bullshit. You know, all the scientific data is being disproven. That's why I don't believe. Not because some website told me not to believe. Not because Fox News told me. No. Because the data is not there to prove it. There's nothing there to prove. As I said, does that mean we go do whatever we want? No. That means we're cautious. That means we worry about what we're doing. But we don't cut our damn leg off. And when they get that attitude that they have to go to extremes of, oh, if you question it, you're against it. Oh, you're one of those deniers and all this other crap. That tells me right there they're full of shit because they got to attack you instead of debating. And that's one of the rules for radicals right there. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget
Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. I just saw the stupidest thing on Facebook. Well, that's pretty short, but it's right up there. So this gangbanger, I guess he wants to put it in a video. So he takes a gun, and he puts it over to his cheek, while his mouth wide open. And he's not trying to kill himself. He's trying to shoot himself, like, in the cheek and out the other side. So what does he do? He pulls the fucking trigger. And it scares the shit and looks painful, but after everything, shock sets in and all that, and I guess he decides he's going to be big bad rapper and starts wiping it all over the face, but I'm just... I'm still dumbfounded. He thinks he swallowed the bullet, but if you watch, because I watched it a couple of times because I was wondering why he didn't go out the other side, the angle it goes out the other, just misses his other cheek. This guy needs help. And his writing. This guy's nuts. Now he's wondering how an armor-piercing bullet would look going through his arm. This guy's nuts. Hopefully, that's a person who doesn't need a gun. That's a guy that shows that he's irresponsible with a gun. Oh, my God. Democrats' own polls show white working-class voters prefer Republican policy by wide margin. The House Majority PAC, a super PAC associated with House Minority Leader Representative Nancy Pelosi, Democrat from California, whose goal is to regain a Democrat majority in the House of Representatives in the 2018 midterm elections, even though she was recently quoted as saying that it's not a big deal if they don't get it, or they don't care. Just released a new poll of white working-class voters that is sounding alarm bells for the Democrat House leadership. Among the key findings is this stunner. By a majority of 35%, more white working-class voters believe that the term will help improve the economy and create jobs applies to Republicans in Congress than it does to Democrats in Congress. Let me say that again. The people believe the term will help improve the economy and create jobs. 35% more believe it applies to Republicans than it does to Democrats. Woo-hoo. Other key findings of the poll are just as discouraging for Democrats. Democrats trail on the initial congressional ballot among white working-class voters by 10 points, 43% to 33%. The majority of white working-class voters approve of the job President Trump is doing by 52% to 44% margin. 66% of white working-class GOP voters approve of the job House Republicans are doing, up from 44% last year. undertaken as part of the ongoing white working class voter project of the House Majority PAC. The survey was conducted by the firm of Nonnington Peets and includes 1,000 total interviews in targeted House district with a sample of likely 2018 voters. All of the voters were white, over the age of 24, and did not have a college degree or higher education. The interviews were conducted June 27th through July 13, 2017. The margin of error for over adult results was plus minus 3.10%. The polling firm says of its methodology. 60 years ago, the leaders of the Democrat Party did not need to conduct a survey to find out what white working-class voters thought. They merely needed to ask their neighbors to come over for a beer. "60 years ago, Democrat Party was nothing like it is today. I mean, there's some similarities in there. But you can see where Democrats were more in line with the common man 60 years ago. Now, these Democrats are some of the richest in Congress. Fact 1 and 2, yes, are Republicans. The top 8, the rest are 3 through 8, are all Democrats. They are not working class anymore. They are not the people anymore. And it is bad that anybody with brain can see what people are thinking right now. You don't need a poll. Look at the last couple elections, you dumbasses. Tell you what, you want to pay me a couple $1 million to tell you what your problem is? I'll be more than glad to take it, and I can probably tell you with real close accuracy what your problem is, and I'll do it without cussing you out. It's mind-boggling numb how stupid that is. Today, however, the Democrat Party is so disconnected from white working-class voters, they have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to study them. The results of the survey conducted confirm what is obvious to anyone who's walked around a white working-class neighborhood recently. The Democrat message is not resonating with this group. The current survey adds to the earlier findings identified in the White Working-Class Voter Project. And we have minority blacks. A lot of them are starting to wake up. I don't want to say them. I don't mean it like that. But just as a whole, the black community is starting to wake up to what the Democrat Party has been doing for decades to them. That's a huge shitstorm for the Democrat Party. They've lost their way big time. I mean, their bullshit is just not... No one's believing it anymore. There's the internet. People can look this stuff up that quick. I mean, that's why they're trying to hide everything about the Civil War. They want to hide that it was the Democrat Party. They got to hide their history. They got to lie about their history. People are learning. People are going to the internet more and more. It's right on their fucking phone nowadays. Okay. Hey, Siri, was the Democrats part of the South during the Civil War? Bing! I mean, that's why they're removing all this shit and hiding it. Because it's so easy accessible, and they're losing right now. They're losing people. And as Dinesh D'Souza loves to put it, they got these people on the plantation voting for him. These inner city people are still on plantation. They're not going anywhere. Because they keep voting the same people in over and over and over again. Detroit, Chicago, Maryland. Time and time again. You don't see these places getting any better, do you? And what do they always do? They blame it on Republicans. It's always the Republicans' fault. Except they've been the ones in charge, and now you're getting people that are waking up going, wait a minute, you know what? For too many years we've heard that same slogan. Nothing's changed, and it's the same people over and over and over. You always get a Democrat, oh, I'm going to do different. Does the exact same thing as predecessor. And Democrats made fun of the quote-unquote uneducated, which they mean people without college degrees. And white voters without a college degree made up 34% of the electorate in 2016. Their share was stable since 2012, but our Democrat margin got 12% worse, the researchers told the Democrat leadership. When you're running out there going, oh, only the uneducated idiots are going to vote for Trump. Yeah, you just took your base too and went, oh, I'm an idiot? I guess I ain't voting for your ass then. In an April 2016 poll with these voters, nearly three-quarters, 72%, said they preferred a factory job over an office job. A large majority, 69%, said it was very important that their next member of Congress will do more to ensure that people are rewarded for hard work. A majority, 57%, said a college degree would result in more debt and little likelihood of landing a good-paying job, while 43% said college degree was a necessary step to get ahead. 83% said a college degree was no longer any guarantee of success in America, while 17% said people who have a college degree are able to get ahead. Here's a problem. If everybody has a college degree ain't worth shit. Because everybody has them. There's nothing special about them. You lost your advantage. It's that easy to see. More people have college degrees, the less it's going to be worth. That sucks. Let me see something. A friend of mine's a bartender up north, and she was sharing a photo of someone pretty much stiffed. They went and bought a drink on them, and then bought like everybody in the bar a drink, and then gave a fake credit card and walked out. That's gotta suck. I'm at a loss when it comes to the Democrats, really. I mean, and if they think, well, in short, when these voters hear people tell them that their answers to their concern is college, their reaction is essentially say, don't force your version of American dream on me. The message implications for Democrats, the pollsters say, require a change in the current game plan. We suffer from the lack of identifiable positive agenda. Without it, voters will turn to Trump for progress. With it, we can make significant gains, the pollsters concluded. Our economical deficit is devastating, the pollsters say of the Democrat Party's economic agendas. Voters don't see special interests as the problem we need to fix. Success means better jobs that pay well, not a new campaign finance system. Let's not confuse the ends and the means, the pollster advised Democrat leaders. The bad news for Democrats is not merely in the poll results. Donors seem increasingly less interested in helping those House majority PACs put the Democrat Party back in the majority in the House of Representatives. The trend in cash on hand in the House majority PAC illustrates that point. At a similar time in the 2014 election cycle, June 30th, 2013, House majority PAC had $2,251,000 cash on hand, according to the FEC reports. 2 years later, at the same time during the 2016 election cycle, June 30th, 2015, the House Majority PAC had $1,818,230 cash on hand, according to Federal Election Commission reports. In the 2018 election cycle, as of July 10, 2017, the House Majority PAC had only $1,361,805 cash on hand, up less than $900,000 from the beginning of the year when it had $399,314 on hand, according to Federal Election Commission reports. The House Majority PAC has had little success in winning House seats in 2017. In May, for instance, it released a poll showing Democrat John Orzoff leading Republican Karen Handel in the special election in Georgia's 6th congressional district. 1 month later, Handel beat Ossoff by 3 points. Republicans enjoy a 240 to 194 majority with one vacancy over the Democrats in the House of Representatives in the current session of Congress. To take back the majority, Democrats will need a net gain of 24 seats in November 2018 midterm election to reach the magic number of 218. With a message that is not reaching white working-class voters, an apparent inability to refine that message, and lackluster fundraising, the House Democrat leadership has yet to hit upon a winning formula for 2018. Now, what it also comes down to, it's going to take longer for them to get a message out there. It's going to take longer than just a year. Ooh. Former Obama aide Ben Rhodes, now a person of interest in the unmasking scandal. They're going to start dropping like flies, and pretty soon one of them's going to start talking. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mud Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Except when it comes to Democrats, nobody can make sense of the Democrats. Nobody, as much as we try. Oh, boy. I'm sitting here, sitting back, and it's kind of hitting me. We're starting to get investigations into Susan Rice, into Loretta Lynch, into James Comey, Ben Rhodes. Hillary isn't that far off. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Her IT guy. And it ends up he was an IT guy to a lot of the Democrats and had access to a lot of scary information. I'm just waiting here. All of a sudden, Democrat so-and-so has skipped the United States. Oh, wait a minute. So is this one. So is this one. So is this one. But with this many people being brought in and investigated, the investigations are going to expand. They're going to start hitting the lower staff members that aren't going to have the protection they used to have. And someone's going to start talking. Someone is going to start talking somewhere to avoid. Because they're not going to be getting the deals that Comey gave out and Loretta Lynch gave out during that joke of an investigation of Hillary Clinton the first time. And I'll say it again, I never heard of anybody getting any deals unless there was an indictment coming down. People just didn't get those deals. You don't hand them out unless an indictment is coming. Because that means they don't have enough information that's worth it. and they're just trying to get out of ever being prosecuted further down the road. But it looks like it's not looking for a lot in the Democrat Party, and I think you're going to see a lot running scared soon. As I was talking to Awan brothers, I want to run. Imran Awan and his brother Abid. Oh, God. Oh, I just want to make so many jokes right off the bat. Abid and Awan. Abid Awan and Imran Awan worked for several dozen Democrat U.S. representatives, including several from California. According to a recent investigation report citing congressional staff data, and this comes from CBS Los Angeles, reported on Thursday, Imran Awan was fired Tuesday by Florida Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the same day he pled guilty to a bank fraud charge in connection with a $165,000 home equity loan, authorities say. His brother Abid Awan was employed earlier this year by Democrat Representative Ted Lieu, Tony Caradas, and yeah, exactly, BZ. Especially if you notice, all this comes down after they find a stash of government hard drives and laptops and other electronics that, from what I described, what I read was described as that it was tried to be destroyed with hammers. Now, all that comes up, especially after the Democrat Party had all these hard drives destroyed, supposedly, and now all these hard drives appear in this guy's house. Well, I think these poor Muslim boys were blackmailing because they were getting paid millions of dollars, big-time buku bucks to do what they did. You don't pay $7 million to have an IT professional scrub your hard drive unless there's something on it. And they ended up keeping those hard drives, it looks like, for collateral. Well, they lost control of those hard drives. They're now into federal custody. And now I think you got everybody shitting. And as you said, Democrats must feel as these dudes rifle through all their electronic files. And I think it's more than just those two idiots going through their files. You got the federal government. You got DOJ now going through those files. They're going to uncover a lot of shit on the DNC. The hell with what these two idiots were going into. That's sort of a different subject, but I mean, that is bad. Don't get me wrong. That is bad because it seems they've had some information that they didn't have clearance to get into. But I'm talking about the government now has access into the Democrat Party. And it's not, okay, well, it's coming from WikiLeaks. It's coming directly from their hard drives. That's going to hurt them. That's what has them running scares. Yeah, and all those files, I will agree with you, all those files were sent to Tehran. I will agree with you 100%. We now have foreign countries having all that information, and now all these Democrats are, as they love to put it, well, they're able to be blackmailed by foreign entities. I didn't even think of that part. Now you got me, oh, shit, that's got him. You know, and by the looks of it, they have no problem paying for blackmail because you had Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who kept him on the payroll, knew this investigation was going on. She threatened the police chief of, the Capitol Police. She threatened the chief in her capacity as a House member. She threatened him. Isn't that collusion and obstructing justice and threatening a police officer, and now this guy's been arrested. Damn, that's making her look guilty. And now I'm hearing they want to talk to her. She really... Let me see if I can... Knock, knock, who's there? Photo of you and the deal. Want the donkey. All right. Second search. I'm going to play the audio from this meeting where she threatens D.C. Capitol Police Chief. And this is the laptop that started it all, that they had as evidence, and she wanted it back.
What about diversity? There really has been a challenge that the Capitol Police has faced systemically with diversity. Diversity in your leadership, diversity in recruitment. How are you focusing in on improving that? And, I mean, I don't mean any disrespect, but it is hard to take your word for it. As you said, you're in leadership now, you're not in the rank and file. So, Mr. Chairman, it might be helpful for us to have an open, an informal meeting with the Capitol Police union leadership so that we can hear from them. We don't have to do it in a hearing, but it would be, I think, good for members to hear from the union leadership. We have done that from time to time, and give them an opportunity without the Capitol Police leadership here to talk to us about, some of their challenges. But
certainly, but
diversity has been a problem.
We have a great diversity officer, Natalie Holder, who comes to us from the private sector, and she's done a lot of work with municipalities, particularly in New York City. We have, what I think we do is we include people. I think we
But do you have goals? Do you have goals to increase?
Wait, let's see if I can get to the point.
We want to broaden.
Handle equipment that belongs to a member or a staffer.
Here it is. Yeah.
It's a very diverse group, and we've given opportunities for
I've
women
never,
and minorities all along the line.
Through the history of my career, I've never really seen significant changes in diversity without a specific written plan on how to accomplish it. And so, are you planning on developing a specific written plan?
Yes,
on how
through our
you will...
diversity office, we are.
Okay, if you could share that plan with me and the process that you're going through to develop it, that would be great. And then lastly, I'd like to know how Capitol Police handle equipment that belongs to a member or a staffer that's been lost within the Capitol complex and found or recovered by one of your officers. What happens?
Sure. Well, it's processed on a what's called a PD 81, which is a property record. And depending on the property, depending on how if you can legitimately determine ownership, then it's generally turned back over to the owner of the property. If it's part of an ongoing case, then there are other things that have to occur for that to happen.
So if a member says that they have equipment that's been lost and you find it, it would be returned to the member?
In the general sense, yes.
Okay.
You have to identify. You have to be able to positively identify the property and be able to establish ownership.
Right. And if ownership is established,
if it's part of an ongoing case, then there are additional things that need to be done.
But if the member owns the equipment and there is no ongoing case related to that member, then the equipment is supposed to be returned.
Right. In a general sense, yes.
No, I mean in a specific sense. If the member loses the equipment, says they lose the equipment,
yes, ma'am,
and it is found by the Capitol Police, it is supposed to be returned.
If ownership has been established,
right,
it'll be returned. If it's subject to an ongoing investigation, there are additional things that need to be turned over.
But not an ongoing investigation related to the member. If the equipment belongs to the member, it has been lost, they say it's been lost and it's been identified as that member's, then the Capitol Police is supposed to return it. Correct?
Well, it's not I can't give a yes or no answer on that because I know
it's a simple yes or no answer.
Well,
if a member loses the equipment,
yes,
and it is found by the Capitol Police or your staff, and it is identified as that member's equipment, and the member is not associated with any case, and that is their equipment, it is supposed to be returned. Yes or no?
Depends on the circumstances, and if the circumstances
I don't understand how that's possible. Members Equipment
she's
is
dumber
members'
than dog
equipment.
shit.
Under my understanding, the Capitol Police is not able to confiscate members' equipment when the member is not under investigation. It is their equipment, and it's supposed to be returned.
Well, I think there's extenuating circumstances in this case, and I think that, working through my counsel and, the necessary personnel, if that in fact is the case, and with the permission through the investigation, then we'll return the equipment. But until that's accomplished, I can't return the equipment.
I think you're violating the rules when you conduct your business that way, and should expect that there would be consequences.
And expect there will be consequences. She threatens a police chief. Right there. I know there's talks that they say she needs to come in and start answering questions. It needs to go past that into a full investigation. She continued to pay this guy, continued to employ him, knowing there was issues beyond just buying a house. And then to threaten, she thought she was all powerful. And this was published on May 24, 2017. She thought she was all powerful. And she could sit there and there will be consequences. Because the Democrats thought they were, untouchable. Well, even when you watch the movie Untouchables, the Untouchables ended up getting knocked down. Don't forget, coming up in about just 18 minutes will be BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by, of course, BZ himself. He's wiping down the bar, getting the seats ready. Remember, the speech is free, but he usually charges 5 times more on Tuesdays for the drinks. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Catholic, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. Yada-da, da-da-da-da. Come on, I know I made it. Crap, did I do what I think I did? Alright. Oh, it's just one of those days when everybody sucks. Alright, where are we at? Let me just see something. I want to see if I threw one article in here. I know I keep saying that. I was just talking with BVZ in the chat room. I really got to redo my promos during the break. I really do. I had an article up. I'll try to get back to it. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is coming under mounting pressure to explain why she kept an IT aide on a payroll for months after a criminal investigation was revealed, facing calls from Republican to testify as well as a newly filed ethics complaint. Let's see if that actually goes anywhere. Top Republican congressman calls for Mueller to resign as special counsel. Come on, I thought I put this. Here it is. Officials with the Department of Homeland Security signed a waiver of environmental regulations on Tuesday to allow construction of upgrades to the border wall and new wall prototype projects to break ground. The department issued the waiver to bypass certain laws, regulations, and other legal requirements to ensure the expeditious construction of barriers and roads in the vicinity of the international border near San Diego. According to information, DHS states the agency has the authority to waive these requirements under laws passed by Congress to enable securing the border with Mexico. That authority stems from Section 102 of the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act of 1996, signed by then-President Bill Clinton. Congress updated the law 5 times under George W. Bush's administration. The waiver allows construction to proceed in the San Diego sector where upgrades to existing border fences are already approved. The waiver will also allow new border wall prototype projects to begin construction immediately, officials stated. It was reported in July that preparation for the prototype construction projects are underway. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers began drilling and taking soil samples to determine what particular type of wall would be compatible with specific geographic regions. Department of Homeland Security previously classified the San Diego and Rio Grande Valley sector as priorities for early development of President Trump's promised border wall. The president asked for $1.6 billion for the fiscal year 2018 budget to build walls primarily in South Texas. DHS reported the San Diego sector is one of the most active areas for both human and drug smuggling. In fiscal year 2016 alone, the United States Border Patrol apprehended more than 31,000 illegal aliens and seized 9,167 pounds of marijuana. Oh, and 1,317 pounds of cocaine in San Diego sector. Whew. Can you imagine that white line being made for that amount of pounds? Woo! And approving the waiver, officials cited the law in Section 102 of IIRIRA provides that the Secretary of Homeland Security shall take such actions as may be necessary to install additional physical barriers, roads in the vicinity of the United States border to deter illegal crossings in areas of high illegal entry into the United States. In Section 102B of IIRIRA, Congress has called for the installation of additional fencing, barriers, roads, lighting, camera, and sensors on the southwest border. Finally, in Section 102C, Congress granted to the Secretary of Homeland Security the additional to waive all legal requirements that the Secretary in his sole discretion determined necessary to ensure the expeditious construction of the barriers and roadways authorized by Section 102. You know the liberals are freaking out. They are pissed off. Oh, man. They gotta be like their heads exploding and freaking out. Oh, this ain't fair. We're gonna use the environment because California already threatened to stop it. They were gonna hit them with so many EPA lawsuits it wouldn't be funny, and they'd lock it up with studies with EPA. You know, and here's the dumb thing the Democrats did, and maybe you know what? As a conservative wanting to see the border, well. You shouldn't give out your game plan like they did. They were, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. And we're so smart, we're going to lock them up in court. Yeah, he found a way around it. Oh. What a bunch of dumbasses. Dumbass shenanigans. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. It goes to show, I mean, what? They're back in MS-13. They're back in ISIS. They're backing illegal aliens coming in. What illegal group don't they back anymore? The one that really shocks me is when they're all upset about MS-13 being messed with. When I hear liberals freaking out over that, I'm like, okay, the shark... Well, every time I say the shark's been jumped with the Democrat Party, they take it as a challenge. I swear, they're like the new white drunk people. That can't be done. Nothing dumber can be done. Yeah, you think so? Hold my beer. Oh, man, just when you think they're at their worst. It just... keeps getting worse. Don't forget, in about another 5 minutes, BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon will be coming up, hosted by BZ himself. And I think you got Dan the Man Butcher with you tonight, don't you? Oh, this is pretty good. So, one good thing that John Kelly did at Department of Homeland Security as Secretary of Homeland Security, he got George Selim. I know I'm messing that name up. He headed the now defunct CVE program, which tried to offer federal support and legal autonomy to Islamic political groups if they redirected Islamic immigrants and youths away from Islamic militancy and jihad. His resignation spotlighted Kelly's decision to replace Obama's failed policy with more direct government involvement in Islamic communities. This guy was known as the jihadi policy expert for Obama, and John Kelly ran his ass right out of there. I'm going to miss John Kelly, his short time at DHS, but you could see the improvement that happened in DHS in that short time. I'm sure President Trump will put another great person in place, but I am glad that I think John Kelly is going to make one hell of chief of staff for President Trump. A lot of this kindergarten bullshit that was going on is going to cease, pretty much. I think you're going to start seeing people leaving that administration real quick. And just because you have turnover doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Especially new presidency getting started. You know, you have some people that are in there just for the first part. And other presidents have had high turnover in the beginning, too. This is not just a Trump-specific issue. So I hate that one. Oh, look at this. Trump, it happens to all of them. They get high turnover here and there. It happens. Things don't work out. You know, you might think someone will work great in a position, and it just doesn't work out. But as I said, I think to get the RNC and these establishment people behind Trump, he had to promise them positions in his cabinet. That's what he did. Little did they know, he basically set them up to fail, to run them out. And he'll now get who he wants in office. He'll get who he wants to be in his cabinet and get his presidency really going good. I think his presidency, it's been marred by a couple incidents, but he's done a lot of great things in the background. Gorsuch, and plus there's a bunch of federal judges he has been instilling. A bunch of conservative federal judges. And there was a lot of openings. And he's been placing them in there. And it's been done without any media coverage. And that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing that the media wasn't exactly covering it. He's been doing a lot of shit in the background. So we don't have liberals freaking out about it every 5 seconds. They've been freaking out about the same shit over and over again, when he's getting a lot of bills done in the background. I think you're going to see definitely a health bill or a tax bill. One or the other will be done way before 2018. Yeah, and he's opposed by so many on every level. You got Republicans. You saw what Jeff Flake is out there flapping his gums like an idiot. He just shows what an idiot is. But I think you're going to see the health or a tax reform right before, 2018 election. They want something fresh in everybody's mind. Something big, something fresh. So it's, if they do everything now, it'll kind of go to the wayside and they'll lose some of their support. Well, that's going to be the show for today. Don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. every Monday through Friday. Coming up next is BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Take it away, BZ. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.